funds do. Venture capital. So venture capital funding requires large fixed asset investment. So here's the bottom line for this one. Look at my timeline here. 10% of 100 million equals how much? 100% of 1 million. So that's where VC money makes sense. If you're going to do $100 million, then you don't care if you only own 10%. What you care about is if you're making 100,000 and you got $1 million, you can't do this. You can't do this VC thing. So what you want to be careful about if you're going to VCs is they say what they do. Some of them will say, we'll help you with your corporation. We'll help you put people on your board. We're going to put our people there. They're going to run your company. But that's not always true. They don't always put the right people in place. You've got to know who you're dealing with. Caveator Forum. Anybody heard that? Caveator Forum? Buyer beware. It's the Romans. Even the Romans knew it. Watch out for the. Watch out. You're in the buying position. Watch out. It's not like everybody has the right idea. It's not like everybody has the wrong idea. Just make sure the idea works for you. Understand who you're dealing with. Don't be the first to jump at it. The founders of PayPal. Great story about the guys from PayPal. Can I tell the story about the PayPal guys? Yeah. Okay. All right. PayPal guys, the founder. He talked to 5 VCs. They want to put the money into PayPal. They're going to put in, $5–10 million. And he keeps thinking, let me think about it. Let me think about it. And he finally, the last VC, he's flying to Japan, and he's going to talk to these guys the 3rd time. He's flown there to talk to them about possibly funding his company. And he says, well, I'm not really sure that I can commit myself. I'll go back home and I'll talk to my associates to see if we want to do the deal. And he goes up to the airline counter to buy his airplane ticket. They're all Stanford students, by the way. They're all living on pizza, sleeping in sleeping bags, working all night long. And they have no money. They're all just, they have like $100,000 credit cards, and they're just stacking up the bill on their credit cards. And so he goes to the counter and he says, here's my credit card. And they say, I'm sorry, sir, but your credit card's been declining. These VCs are walking in the door with him, trying to get him to sign at the same time. Please sign, please sign. And then they say, oh, let us buy you the ticket. And then they bought him the ticket, and he goes home, and he calls them a week later. He says, okay, we'll do it. So it was about, he was smart enough to wait for the right person. That's the lesson. Even though it's abundant, even though a lot of people are after him, he was smart enough to wait for the right person. So the venture capital system is very complicated. There's all kinds of management partners, fund investors. And if you really understood it, you could see why it works the way it works. It's very complex. There's a bunch of protected, private, public capital that goes on. So unsecured, I talked a little bit about that. Secured, private assets, SBA, term loans up to $2 million. They do not loan money to new businesses. Okay, if you're just starting a business, you will not get money from the SBA. They will not do it. The trick is to not be a new business. How do you not be a new business? Are you in business right now? Are you? You are, yeah. Well, you're not new anymore. Congratulations. You just started a new corporation, but you're still not a new business, all right? Grants. So specific to the needs, you've got to know your subject. You've got long odds on a grant, but still, a grant money is free money. You never have to pay it back. It's really good stuff. Mergers and acquisitions. This is my favorite one. 2 or more companies get together. You can form sub-chapters within corporations. There's a lot of corporate laws I'm going to talk about here, but I'm working with somebody right now that we're in the process of doing this. It's called reverse merger. They just came here from out of town. They came from New Zealand. They have virtually nothing. And so what they've done is they're going to buy a sales company. And the sales company they're buying, of course, wants to sell it. And so how are they going to make money to sell it? Well, sales company's got value. So we go borrow the money against the value of the company, give that to the owners, and now you're an instant business owner. From nothing to everything. You've got a $2 million, $3 million company overnight. And the corporation's been in business for 10 years. Now you've been in business for 10 years with a $2 million company. What can you do with that? It's called a reverse merger. So there's a small guy goes to the big guy. Those are all over the place. People can do that. first merger? It's a small guy buys up a big guy. So somebody wants to say, how do you buy a corporation? That's the going word. How do you buy a corporation? Anybody know how to buy a corporation?
TI did.
You did?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
I don't. I buy the assets.
That's right. How much did you pay for the assets?
0.
That's right. So how much money do you have to have a big corporation?
All of it.
Nothing. Really. You don't have to have anything. You just say, how do you do? Can I have your corporation? Sure, go ahead, take it. It's yours. Well, a little bit more than that, right? But that's essentially what you do. It's like you're putting all your hard-earned money. You think you have to go save up all this money to go buy something with when you really don't. You don't have to have the money. You just have to have the knowledge of how to do it. But of course, you have to have something even more powerful than that, and that is, what do you have to have?
Ambition.
Fun.
Fun.
You're supposed to be having a good time with this.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
If working hard is hardly working, right? You're supposed to be enjoying what you're doing. If you don't have a passion for your business, then you've got a job you don't want. Be doing what you love. Love what you do. Remember Richard Branson? I'm going to go back to him again. Okay, Richard Branson said it right there. Enjoy what you do. Love what you do. And the money will come. So it's all about you enjoying what you're doing. And the rest of it is easy. Not simple, but it's easy. It doesn't take people that have money. You say people that have money are able to get money. This is why they're able to get money. Because they know it's not that hard. If you're a billionaire, it's easy to be a billionaire. Strategic combined alliance. Distribution channels, manufacturing, fund capability, project capital equipment, knowledge, expertise, intellectual property, all yours. Boom. Overnight. From nothing to everything. Strategic merger. Two people get together and they say, it's like, what was that one? What was that one they used to have? A peanut butter and chocolate, they're running down the thing and they accidentally get the peanut butter and chocolate mixed together. Yeah. And they say, you got your chocolate and my peanut butter. You got your peanut butter and my chocolate. And all of a sudden, ooh, this is good. It's a merger. And what happened is each of you have an advantage. Each of you have something to offer to each other. And what you do is you put those two together, and together you become even bigger. So it's called a strategic. It's another form of strategic. Somebody that wants what you have, and you want what they have, and you can just work it out together. So how much money do you think that's going to cost you? Anybody want to say? There you go. There's my favorite word. So it has a beginning and end to it. You go on. Usually it's a short-term affair when you do a strategic merger. So you would have an agreement that's going to end at a certain date. So that way, in case the marriage doesn't work, remember they're real happy at this point. And if it doesn't work, then you can come out later. If it wants to become bigger, maybe there's going to be an acquisition. Maybe it's going to be combining of the companies permanently. But you do it on a trial basis to begin with, and that's called strategic. So management. Number one, management. So what is the most important thing about a company? Is it's well managed. So your keys are being able to change directly and quickly, knowing what you do best, and you hire the experts in your field. It says, get me the latest figure on absenteeism misuse. Misuse.
What's that?
Know what's going on. All I need is web marketing. How many people know that web marketing is instant success? Okay, if you get 100,000 people coming to your website, what does that mean? How much money did you get out of that? That's right. So, it's not just web marketing. You can put yourself on the internet, but that doesn't buy you instant success. You have to have a marketing plan behind web. Web marketing is good, but then you have to have other things. It can't just be one-sided. I like how he's got it all down. So, product, place, price, promotion. Keys of marketing. The right product, the right place, at the right time. All important. It's even more important than the product. You can make a product sell if you have the right marketing technique. All you you gotta do is look at the, what is it, Ginsu knives?
Sure.
Everybody has seen the Ginsu knives or something that, ring a bell, Ginsu knives, you know, you buy Ginsu knives, like, you get the, what's that? Ron Popeil, yeah, even better, Ron Popeil. So, it's not about the product. The product may be something you have a marginal sense of you need or don't need it. But the fact that Ron Popeil sells it, man, you want it. It's like, Ron makes this exciting. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the problem with Ron Popeil is he drove his marketing by what's called perceived value. By renting all of that on-air time on television stations, on major network stations, during their dead zone at 2 o'clock in the morning, he created the perception that he had value in his product, when in fact his bookend was a brick in a shoebox.
Well, yeah, and the other thing about Ron Popeil that you may know as well is that Ron Popeil took the business over from his dad. His dad saying, you know, our business is struggling, Ron, how are we going to make it work? And Ron says, well, the first thing I'm going to do is stop trying to invent our own products. We're just going to buy everybody else's. So he never made a product after that. He bought everybody else's. Who else? Who is the biggest company in the Valley right now that never makes their own product? Did anybody?
Apple.
HP. No. HP bigger. Cisco.
Microsoft?
Cisco. Cisco makes nothing. They're a complete marketing company. All they do is take in orders. And if they get enough orders for the product, they go find out somebody that makes it, they call the customers back and say, we got one. They put their name on it and they sell it. Oh, by the way, the interesting thing about Cisco is they make zero money on the product. They don't charge anything for the product. They sell the service. So they are a service company, not a product company. So ask yourself, what do I know best? What do I do best? What makes me different? What can I do that's unlike others? And then what makes this fun for me? Remember that word? Fun. Thank you. This is your vision. This P.K. Provlot, one of my personal favorites, the Harvard guy, UCLA late Provlot. He's also wrote a book about called Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid, about how money lies in places we don't even think it is. It's this core competency, this is a specific factor that a business sees as being central to the way it employs and the way it fulfills in 3 critical areas. It's not easy for competitors to imitate. You may have an idea, competition can see it, but it's going to take them some time to figure out how to do it, especially if it's your idea. It can be reused widely for many products and markets, and it must contribute to the end consumer's experience benefits. That's P.K. Provlot. That's his thing. That's what he came up with. It's very, very important, called core competency. It's not just doing what you do best as much as understanding what makes you really good at what you do, what makes you unique at what you do. Everybody in this room has a core competency. Everybody. And I think sometimes when I talk to business, where I think they get misled is they think they should be like somebody else. And I say, don't do that. Be exactly who you are, because you're really good at something. It may take you 10 years to figure that out, but that's worth finding out. Because you're so good at that one thing, nobody can imitate it. And that's what you should focus on.
There has to be a match in the market, though. You can't just be good at something and then expect to have a business unless there's a demand in the market.
Must contribute to the end consumer's experience benefits.
People are willing to buy.
Pardon?
You have to be good at something that people are willing to buy.
That's right. Caveat. Be good at stuff, but that does not mean a business.
Well, you have to discover what it is. First of all, you've got to discover what it is.
Coincide with the market.
It's not an easy thing to discover. It's something, but you're something you're really, really good at. And then from that, you build on this. Can be those other things. And of course, the bottom line is it has to contribute to the end user experience benefits. I'm a believer in social capital. In other words, there's a perceived benefit beyond just selling the product, the experience for the consumer, something that really rewards them in a way that maybe is not immediately tangible, but in long term very tangible. There's companies that do that. Core strengths. What are your core strengths? Are you engineer? Are you marketing? Are you sales? Where are you? So know what your core strength is. So market validation. Hire the right people for sales, do behavioral interviews, get the people, hire a sales company, tracking, budget, Fundavision. Thank you very much. That's what we do. Any questions?
Yeah, what do you charge?
What?
What's your fees and, for raising money?
Well, I got my first. I have to explain that by explaining how much we charge by one way. Why do you care what we charge? If we get you all the money you want, what do you care? So first thing we got to do is we got to get you the money. So there's going to be a cost involved in that, right? So what does free get you? Free gets you so far. So if you ask me to do something for free, I will help you as much as I can, but I can only do so much before I have to get something out of it. So it may take a lot, it may take a little, I can't really tell you. We have different structures that we work with different people. We take a percentage of the money that we pull in. We don't take any ownership in companies. That's my golden rule. You don't like to own anything. You own 100% of what we're done. But if I charged you 10% for the money that I brought you, and you made 300% profit on it, why would you care? If you got a marginal deal, some of the marginal deals we can't really do because there's just not enough profit in it for us to really work with it. But you're welcome to do it on your own. One of my businesses.
I was going to say, the model is if somebody, if you help somebody make money and you take a percentage, I get that. But what if that doesn't happen? You still get paid? Is that how that works? It's only paid if you get it. What you're saying, why should I care if you get the money you want? Right? So it's sort of that step of trust and guarantee that I think people look for, in any business. Saying, why would I do that unless I'm sure something's going to happen?
Right. Well, we look on result. We're on the result side. We can do minimal costs for what we do to get you started, but our long range goal is to get you to profitability, to sales, and where you can manage the company on your own. You're able to get the team in place. We'll give you a temporary team to help you get started. It's much more economical to outsource in the beginning, and then once you have your own sense of what you're doing, you'll know the core people you want to get. We'll help you with that. We'll help put them in place. You can start hiring people in this room today if you want to. That's fine with me.
You mentioned a couple of things, like one of the purchase order, letter of credit, like transferable, and letter of entry. So you are helping like existing businesses that they have sales to make, as well as startup ideas.
Well, we get you to that point. We get you to the point. Go ahead. What's that?
I'm not sure I understood your answer to that. Are you working solely on a success fee basis,
Yeah.
or is there a an upfront fee?
There can be upfront fees depending on what we have to do to get you there. If it's simple, then we can just take papers from you. But if we have to do the work, then we're going to charge you probably a nominal fee for that.
Could you give maybe an example of a company that Fundavision funded and sort of where the money comes in and what you do for the company and how they work?
Okay, I want to answer his question about the LOIs and all that.
Yeah.
So
Can you repeat the question, please? Okay, the question is like.
I'll stop it.
About the LOIs.
What's the question?
What was that?
What's his question?
Oh, okay. He wanted to know about the letters of intent and other kinds of letters of credit, things like that. So you understand what those mean, right? There's so when you get to a point of sales, so our goal is to get you to sales. So when you get to sales, then how many sales vehicles can we fund off of? So if we get LOIs or we get letters of credit or anything like that, then we can leverage off of those. So those may not have cash value, but we're able to get you to the point where you can get those things, and those do have cash value, and that will get you to the next place. Like I was just saying about our company, that $4 million, they just got half the money out of a letter of credit for the manufacturers to be able to manufacture. Didn't get them any money, so we're working on the next half right now, getting them money. So
that's almost receivable kind of finance.
It's a receivable. It's like an asset base.
Like purchase order financing.
You can do the same thing with capital equipment. You can do. There's things that you can leverage. Like if you have a restaurant, for example, one of the ways to leverage money in a restaurant is you got capital equipment in the restaurant. You own the restaurant, You got stuff that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You need capital to grow on, you can leverage off of that. So that's one way we've done it before.